Kuch Kuch Hota Hai was released in 1998 and stars Shah Rukh Khan, Kajol, and Rani Mukherjee. In this movie, after a man's wife dies, his daughter tries to reconnect him with his old college friend to try and get him back into the love scene. I have watched this movie a ridiculous amount of times, and for good reason. This is one of the most iconic Bollywood movies of all time. I mean, the dialogue is iconic, the music's iconic, the basketball. Needless to say, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai really put its stamp in Bollywood history, but does it hold up to today's time? Let's go over it. Let me get my positives out of the way. Kajol, Shah Rukh Khan, and Rani Mukherjee put on absolutely fantastic performances. Their chemistry is just out of this world. And not to mention, they just make the movie so much better than it needed to be. All these characters are totally iconic in Rahul, Anjali, and Tina. You know all of them. Once you hear those names, you automatically think of this movie. However, out of all these performances, I really think Kajol put on easily the best one. I think she was the most well-rounded character. She was the most complex because she had to play this super tough character but also super vulnerable.
Nah, she's not my type.
Nah, she's not my type.
She really is the heart and soul of this movie. Without her, this movie would not work. And not to mention, the whole movie, you can tell, just revolves around her character of Anjali. And she needed to knock it out of the park, and she absolutely did. Another big positive that I like, this is just me personally, I really like the style of this movie. And this is really just me loving 90s films, because the 90s had such an iconic fashion, especially with all the bright colors. You know, this movie is just naturally so colorful. Another huge positive for me is the music in this movie. All the songs are really good, but I think I speak for everyone here in saying that, hey, we like the music, but we're kind of sick of hearing it because we've heard it at every wedding. Like, it's everywhere. You can't escape it. It's at regular functions. It's at weddings. It's everywhere. So you know what? I give props to Udit Narayan, Kumar Sanu, and Alka Yagnik, but I'm kind of sick of hearing these songs. Also, another thing that I want to talk about, Bollywood really needs to stop using instruments the wrong way. Okay, Tina. You need to plug in the electric guitar for it to work, otherwise it won't sound like that. Come on, work with me, Tina. Also, the comedy in this movie is actually pretty good, specifically from the great Johnny Lever, the king of Bollywood comedy. He just lights up the screen every time he comes on. Seriously, 90s Johnny Lever, nobody could touch him.
Your son is gone mad.
Alright, so now let's go into the negatives. A big negative for me is obviously the basketball scenes.
Oh, you missed that. Ugh.
Oh, why can't we do sports right? Okay, another negative I have after watching this is just the plot itself. It's a bit far-fetched for me because, look, when Tina passes away, she decides to leave 8 letters for her daughter to read. And on the 8th one, she reveals the entire story of her being in college and how her dad should actually be with her old college friend, not her. And she says, hey, you need to reunite them together. This is my last wish. That's a lot of pressure for an 8-year-old, okay? Back when I was 8, I had pressure. I couldn't even complete 2 tests the same day, let alone try to reunite my dad with his old college flame. Come on! Alright, and there's one thing that I need to talk about. This might come off as controversial, but I don't care. I think in this movie, Tina is the villain. I know people like to put the pin on Rahul, saying Rahul's the villain, how we didn't appreciate Anjali. Okay, that may be the case. You may be right. But I think Tina is the real villain. And I'll tell you why. She basically steals him from Anjali without even reading the room, seeing how Anjali is clearly in love with him. Then on the day Anjali leaves, she realized that day that, hey, I got in the way of their relationship. I realized that they should have been together. Okay, if you realize that, why didn't you tell Rahul, hey, go be with her, don't be with me? Instead, you married the guy, had a kid with him, and it took for you to pass away to finally realize that, hey, maybe I should have them together instead of me and Rahul. You know what? Tina's the villain in this, okay? How dare you? Why am I so angry about this? Because I like Rani Mukherjee. I don't know why I'm so angry at her. Not you, Rani Mukherjee. I'm angry at the character Tina, not you. Another negative for me is, as great as the comedy is in this movie, there is so much cringe in this movie, specifically from Miss Berganza.
Miss Berganza, uh-huh.
So Miss Berganza is actually a teacher at this college, and she constantly flirts with students, and her relationship with the principal is, let's just say, creepy.
Oh, Miss Berganza.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Now, another cringeworthy thing for me is the character of Rahul, specifically when he's in college. Now, the overall character of Rahul is pretty good, but in college, he's just weird. Like, take for instance when he's hanging out with his buddies, he does this with them. That's annoying, right? Now imagine him doing that all throughout college with his buddies. This isn't the 50s. Who does that anymore? While Shah Rukh Khan is an amazing actor, some of his line delivery is just a little weird for me.
Hi.
Hi.
Word of advice. Don't ever greet anybody like that ever. You will be reported on the spot. I mean, if you don't believe me in saying that this movie had an impact in Bollywood, look at the Filmfare Awards. It was nominated for 17 Filmfare Awards. And out of those nominations, it won Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, and Best Supporting Actor. That's crazy to me. I don't think any other Bollywood movie has done that. I mean, if I'm wrong, just tell me in the comments. But for now, that's crazy to me. All in all, guys, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai will never be forgotten. I mean, it is timeless, endless rewatchability. I mean, I think it's gonna live on forever, which is why overall I'm gonna give it an A-. There are some aspects of this film that don't really work for me now as it did back when I was a kid, but it's still a great watch. If you haven't watched it yet, get a life. It's on Netflix, watch it now. Yeah, it's just a great film overall. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.